Welcome to Hugging the Cactus and the Keep Going podcast. I'm Andy Signor, and I'm so excited here to talk about a tribute of Dustin Diamond, a.k.a. Screech. That's how we all knew him. But I got two guys here who actually knew the man, were able to work with the man, and talk us about the man. There's been so many people sort of, I think, kicking him while he's down or arguing about the drama. But I want to talk about sort of the Dustin Diamond that I've always heard was a really sort of sweet guy and sort of the struggles and perils of fame that he had to deal with. And I'm so happy to have from the band TENLo, Joey and TomE. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah.
So full disclosure, I'm not as familiar with Joey and TomE. They're good marketers. Clearly, they were out there trying to promote, I guess, the video, and I saw it, and they were sharing it because Dustin was in it. It seems to be one of his final performances, and obviously I was very interested as I saw it. It's a cool song. It's a cool video where you have Dustin as Doc Brown in a sort of Back to the Future themed rock video. You guys can go check it out. Go check out TenLomusic.com, and you can see it, or their Instagram, TENLo. It's right there on screen as you see them. But guys, you reached out to me. You'd seen some of my videos, happy to promote. But when I saw that you guys were working with Dustin, I thought, well, I'd love to talk to you about Dustin. Obviously, I want to talk about sort of him as a tribute, not here to look to smack talk or look down on. But I'm just curious, obviously such a tragic loss. Did you, before we even get to what you knew, did you notice how sort of the media treated him after he left, of sort of just trying to dig up all the nasty stuff? And was it, did you notice that too? Did you feel like the media was fair in his passing?
Yeah, they kind of dig up whatever they can, just to get headlines, kind of seems like nowadays. So yeah, they kind of, everything kind of came out at once. So
yeah, as far as being fair, I think his personal life was pretty secretive, and then the negative headlines that made headlines, that was it, man. And the people had a false perception of, I think, who he really was.
Right. So I've always heard, I've knew some people who knew of him, and obviously he had a troubled past, but we all do. We're all humans. We've all made mistakes. And I feel like in the interviews and stuff I'd seen since, he was very open about those mistakes. He was very keen on seemingly trying to rewrite and refit and fix any relationships that he may have, hurt along the way by accident. And so, how was he working with him? How was he as a person? Did you sense drama or any of this trouble that other people out there were sort of trying to paint with him? Or was he truly a good guy?
Dude, first meeting in 2017, first of all, he showed up.
I can attest.
We didn't have any expectations.
That's a rarity when you get some of these celebrities, like, are they going to be flaky? Are they going to show up? So yeah, that's a huge plus.
You never know.
Immediately happy and immediately engaged and ready to do whatever we wanted with like gusto, it's like, what, who is this guy? And then right away, after that, just telling us stories like about other celebrities and his experiences with them. And slowly after that video in 2017, we started hanging out, but he opened up so much willingly to us because he was a musician. And I think he loved talking about music with us. And that's immediate bond. If you're a musician talking to another musician,
right?
You Yeah. So,
Did you get a sense, or did he ever share with you sort of the struggles he had with Saved by the Bell? I mean, he'd been vocal in a lot of interviews, and I'm not trying to pry in personal stuff, but it seems like it was something he was open talking about, whether it was on Stern or a lot of places he did. It did feel like he felt a little disrespected by not being in the reunions and not still having them keep in touch. Did that topic ever come about when you guys were hanging out? Did you feel like, I don't know if I want to ask that, or was he sort of an open book about that sort of stuff?
Yeah, to be honest, when we first started, working with them and talking with them, we never even really mentioned the show or anything. We kind of were focused on what we were doing, and we treated him like Dustin, not a character from a TV show. So we were always about what was going on at the moment, and we never really talked to him about any of that stuff in the past. Because it was a long time ago.
A couple of things. Maybe he did speak of how much younger he was than everybody when the show was going on. So there was always that age gap that he had to deal with. And then being labeled as that title, just being everywhere he went, that's who he was, that name, everyone calls him that now. I don't think he at times enjoyed that as much as people just getting to know him for Dustin. He never had that outlet of like, hey, I'm Dustin,
I think too, at the same time, people that, when we went out in public with him and stuff, he was always, getting the Screech name, kind of get a picture, but he was always really positive with people. And like, we never saw him even if he was tired or sweaty or from shooting or whatever, he was always like super positive and never had an attitude, never was mad to stop and take a photo, was always talking to people. If anything, we were trying to get somewhere and we would always have to stop, and then one person would lead to another, which would lead to another, and then but he honestly enjoyed it. He loved it. He was all about it.
And I love too, because it's a secret if you work with any sort of celebrity. It's like you're not supposed to talk about this exactly. You don't want to bring up the characters and everything and be a fanboy and everything. And I'm sure he loved sort of breaking into character. Like he got to play Doc Brown. He didn't have to do like the Screech thing that everyone else asks him to do.
Right.
That must have been such a joy for him to be like, oh, cool, you're actually treating me like an actor and a human first. So good on you guys. I mean, did he actually acknowledge that, or could you just tell like he probably was stoked to be able to do it that way?
I think like parts of him came out, like, Dustin was a goofy guy, and like the very first video we shot with him, we were like, okay, is he going to be really serious, or is he going to have like a goofy side? What's he going to do? And he kind of actually did both. He like, we saw like some of the goofy side of him where we're like, okay, that's kind of like how we knew him too, like from TV and stuff. But then he had a serious side where we're like, this guy really knows what he's doing. Like he's the real deal.
Yeah,
like, he's been doing this a lot.
He's like, I'll channel my inner Doc Brown. And you remember how Doc was always like kind of jumpy,
Yeah.
And like a little crazy. He started doing that almost immediately, and then walking around that car in the outfit that he had, man, he totally went over and beyond what we asked him to do for everything. And a lot of that was all spontaneous.
Just him doing it on the spot. Like he's like, hey guys, watch this, and then and then we started rolling. And then he'd do something like, yeah, we like that better actually. Let's go with that.
He's such a badass in that respect.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, all the things I've heard, and I didn't know him, but all the things I keep hearing, while the media I think is out there working on the troubled past, and certainly he had one, but it does seem like he was just trying to make his way, trying to keep continuing, and I can't imagine the struggle it is to walk around with everybody being like, "Hey, Screech, it's Screech," like that is a burden to bear. It seems like, well, no, he's a celebrity, he's rich, but from everything I've read, NBC did not treat him the way he probably deserved to be treated. It wasn't until later in sort of some of the spin-offs where he was able to negotiate a little bit to get more, but this was still a daytime TV show, folks got to remember. So yeah, I mean, that's a lot to handle, and I can understand why he might have made some of the choices he made that he regretted later. But everybody has made mistakes, and we all deserve that second chance. It's nice to hear. I'm glad you guys are here, sort of sharing these positive sides of him, just being out there taking gigs, having fun with the gigs, getting lost in the character, being nice to you. A lot of celebrities aren't that way. They're still bitter and mad and angry. But it sounds like he was able to move on and just live in his life. Did you get a sense of that?
Definitely.
Yeah, most definitely.
And it seemed like he was just starting to be in a really good place, like coming up again as himself. So, I mean, whatever happened, but
yeah, I think, I wish he would have gotten out there even more so people could have seen like how he actually really was. Like he was a goofy dude that liked to have fun, and, he was a good actor,
Yeah, he was a great actor. I think enough people were. I mean, some are. I saw some tributes that sort of really acknowledge, even like Mark Paul Gosselaar, who it seemed like he did have some beefs with. Even he acknowledged just sort of what a comedic genius he was, because you can't deny the work he did at Screech was fantastic.
Some of the late night text, how you can put a filter on and have this different character and everything. We'd get texts late night, random texts from him playing all these different characters with these little 5 to 10 second videos, and it's hilarious. He's very smart when it comes to improv.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing around the country too. He was doing, comedy shows, traveling a lot actually, just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Before COVID. So.
Yeah, it sounds to me like he was finally rebounding, because I rewatched a lot of interviews and everything when I heard the loss, and it was just because it was tragic to hear. But you could tell he was trying to make amends with his cast members, with just, I think, the public, based off of the dumb book that was out there that he's made clear wasn't really written by him, and sort of some of the other things he had done that just sort of seemingly to try and, I guess, get a payday, because at a certain point, to have that level of fame and not at least have the wealth to go with it, That sucks. It sucks to be able to be super famous where everybody's like, oh, yeah, and then you can't even hire like security or decent enough stuff to like really take care of yourself and have to deal with the burden of being famous. That to me is the worst punishment. And it seems, it seems like he was sort of in that spot. But at the same time, he was in the Midwest with you guys, right? So he was out there sort of trying to move out of the Hollywood area, but still sort of keep himself busy. Look, he seemed like a genuinely good dude. So any other thoughts or stories to share about the man that you can offer?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much said a lot, just about the kind of dude he was, like goofy dude. We would go out to concerts together. We, have some drinks once in a while. And he was just a regular dude, for us. So, and like I said, we never even seen Dustin get mad ever, I don't think.
Yeah, and as the years went on, he opened up to us on a personal level. And just to be able to text him and be like, let's go out, man. We're dragging you out of your house. I don't know if you're busy. He's always flying somewhere and doing something pre-COVID, but
yeah,
we just go out to a pub and have a good night, man. And like sharing some intimate stories and times with him, I'll just never forget it. And he was always positive throughout everything, every time we were with him. Yeah. So nothing bad to say at all.
It's good to hear, and it's sad we lost the man. He was way too young. Lung cancer. Oh, what a terrible, just such a bummer to get, and it went so fast. I think a lot of fans are still mourning, and I hope they remember the good, and I'm glad we're here to sort of share those tributes. But tell us a little bit about, before we wrap up, tell us about the music, TENLo. What made you guys start, and give a quick plug to people out there to entice them to check out your sound, anything. How would you sell it?
Quick plug, we've been playing music on the road for a long time. Bands dissolved, record deals dissolved. This guy and I decided to form a duo called TENLo, and it's an electronic rock infused, kind of pop infused act that we conceptualized, I think, around 2017. So we're excited to get out and play once all the restrictions are lifted. But until then, we're focusing on videos, music videos, and as you can see, we have a few up.
Yeah, and you got good PR management team. Look, you got not only Dustin, but then you got Stormy Daniels. How'd you get Stormy? She directed. You direct.
Old friend.
Yeah, she's a friend of ours. Yep.
Stormy Daniels directing your other video. That's amazing. Good score.
Thank you.
She's another one. She's another one who I feel like is very people give a bum rap to. She feels like very misunderstood, and people don't treat her fairly out there. What was your experience with her? Similar, which she is nicer than people maybe are expect she to be.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's been a good friend before even any music videos or anything like that. So, she's just a really really cool chick. That's how I actually met her at a concert, and we hung out, and we became friends. So
she's very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
No, she seems it. I believe her. Sadly. Good for you guys. You guys can check them out over here. Like I said, TENLomusic.com. Check out the Stormy Daniels video. You can check out the Dustin Diamond video and other stuff. Really great to meet you both. Thank you for being here, Joey, TomE. I appreciate it. Guys, if you have a guest or topic you want us to cover here on Hugging the Cactus and the Keep Going podcast, leave it down below. Helps the engagement. Smash the like button. Go follow these guys. Follow us. Subscribe, all that jazz, and stay tuned for more here on Hugging the Cactus. Thanks, everybody.